The pain kept coming, I was going down. I held so tight, kept falling to the ground. I knew I had to change, I knew I had to let it go. And now I've found a better way to wash the ego pain away. And then I found the words to say, I am divine, I am divine. It's always been there, it will never go away. I am divine. I feel so free, remember every day. The moment all the pain was washed away. I shine so bright now, and I want everyone to know. You've got this living deep inside you too. And it's so easy just to feel brand new. Commit surrender to your divinity within. And then you'll see a better way. Things you don't need will fall away. Your eyes will open and you'll say, I am divine. I am divine. It's always been there, it will never go away. I am divine. Oh, I am divine. I am divine. It's always been there, it will never go away. I am divine. It's always been there, it will never go away. I am divine.
Okay, welcome. Welcome back to the home studio. Nice to be back at the house.
Surely
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Yeah, I never did well with an office. Actually, I never worked at an office.
I did, yeah. Quite a while.
Did you like it?
No.
Exactly.
Free spirit.
Yeah. So welcome everyone. We also shifted the time. It's nice that there's daylight out here in the Philippines. Seems our international crowd is mostly sleeping.
When is it? What time is it in North America?
It's like for the Americans,
6?
it's evening. It's like
Yeah.
9 p.m. Eastern.
Is it?
Yeah. Hi Shannon. Nice to see you here.
Shannon, Michael.
Shannon got the memo.
Yeah.
Got some more coming in. Well, for those of you that are tuning in to the whatever platform, I think we're on 10 of them now. If this is the first time that you're coming to see us, then we got a little video for you. So here you go. Yeah, we got some. No.
Hi there. My name's Jamie Divine. Welcome.
Wrong guy.
Wrong video. Yeah,
Yeah.
wrong guy. It's a little early for the tech team. You know, we're shifting from going to bed at sunrise to waking up at sunrise at the same day. So
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. My name is John Smith, that's Dawn with two N's, and I'm here to share with you what I've developed over 44 years that I call IAMDIVINITY.
Got
I
some
say
more.
that IAMDIVINITY because I'm divine and so are you. No matter what you've done and what you haven't done, you are divine, you always were, and you always will be. And it gets all covered up. And so all of those trips to the personal developments and all of those things, and they don't hold. And did you ever question yourself instead of just going back and getting the next one and the next one and the next one and none of them hold? Well, there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
A very big reason. It's because you're working on a belief level. That's what beliefs are, both negative and positive. They're who we think we are. So going from a negative belief to a positive belief is not the answer whatsoever. It's about the knowing of who we truly are. There's knowing. It isn't a belief. And so all of these ideas of doing this and all of those trips to the wherevers, it's like dealing with a piece of something. But this is not a piece of anything. This is the total knowing of who you are. And what I've developed over this 44 years is a process that's instant and it's permanent. Now, the permanent comes in by you doing something for holding it. But I'm telling you, there's people who have this for years and it's instant. And how do I say that with such boldness? Well, put it in the category of a phobia. 90% of the population has a phobia of something. Bugs, snakes, rats, heights, water, whatever. And my question to you is, how long did it take for you to create that phobia? Yes, you're right. 1 instant. And yet everybody questions me about that. And yet that's all it took. 1 instant. So now, what I did was, I reverse engineered near-death experiences and phobias to find out how they worked, and I reverse engineered it. So if you can create a phobia in a second, and most times it's before the age of reason, which is 4, 5, 6. Think about that. At that young of an age, that in 1 second, you created a lifetime phobia. Well, it's a lifetime phobia because you're holding on to it for protection. That's how the ego works. It's going to get you to hold on to something that's harmful for you so it can keep you aware in case it happens again. That's how toxic your ego is. And it's not your ego, it's the ego. Sorry, my mistake. Because you are much more than an ego. And so what it's about is if you create it in a second, why would it take any longer than a second to reverse it if you knew how you did it? That's what I do. That's one of the pieces. And then the other is the permanentness of it all. Well, I'm going to ask you a question. What color are your eyes? What color are those eyes of yours? Now you tell me how long you've had that color. Yeah, your whole life. That's permanent. Would you agree? But look at the permanentness of a phobia. You had it from age 4 to 84. That's 80 years. You'd think that was permanent. But it was created in a second, and you can reverse it in a second. So it's not. That's what I'm saying. So that's what we're talking about. Something that's instant, something that's permanent, and it's about who you truly are. Your divinity, your divine. Don't ever forget it. Always remember it. And all of these other things are happening because you have an attachment to the personal development system of beliefs and changing a belief from a negative to a positive. It's not going to hold. It will not hold. Yes, there will be improvements. Congratulations on doing that. That's searching. I'm talking about a shift from this to a shift from this. Who we're not to who we are. And then doing a simple exercise. Takes 5 minutes, 3 times a day, to hold it. And there you have it. That's it. That's who you are. That's why it's like the color of your eyes. The color of your eyes has been that way all this time, and you still have that color. Well, it's the same. Who you truly are is permanent. Who your beliefs are not, because it's not true. No matter how much you believe, the negative or the positive about those beliefs, they're false. And so, I'm here to share with you to go on a journey under 2 hours. Now I'm talking about, like I've worked with 15 different pro athletes or Olympians, okay? That's just in sports. And then mega billionaires, millionaires, and health, cancer. You know, one guy, I met him in the garbage room in Vancouver. I opened up the door and there he is. And he's so gray and he's humped over and he's like, you'd think he was going to die any second. I said, holy shit, man, you don't look too good. What's going on? He said, oh, I got prostate cancer. I've had it for 16 months. I've had 32 radiation treatments. And I don't know how much time I have. I said, don't listen to that bullshit. Can I ask you a few questions? Within that 15 minutes, I had asked him all these questions. And all I knew about him was his name was Al. 3 weeks later, I get a call from him. This same guy. He said, hi, Don, this is Al Valjanic. I met you in the garbage room 3 weeks ago. Yeah? Well, I don't have any cancer. Now, I could fill this room with those stories. Fill this room with those stories. And you can access this magnificent, powerful, divine energy called IAMDIVINITY. And what's natural about it, it matches who you truly are. That's the key. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that exciting that you will know who you are, and it will override and supersede who you think you are. Now, if you're tied up with that persona that you've developed, in a second, I might add, and kept it all this time, like I just worked with a guy that when he was 9, his mom died, and he decided to harden his heart. And he hardened his heart the next 40 years. And that's what all his issues were about. We went back, cleaned that up, boom, it's gone. All the symptoms were all gone. That's how easy it is, and that's how simple this is. So if you want to continue with your hard work and all of those kind of things, and going back and paying for this again, that again, and this again, and the counseling and the therapy and coaching and all of that, go ahead, by all means. But if you want to be free to be you, free to be who you truly are. And those eyes, every time you look in the mirror, it will remind you how magnificent you are. And that's how this process is about, whether it's in an individual or whether it's in group. And I welcome you to join us in this journey of raising humanity's consciousness from its existing 210 to 700. That's right, you heard it right. 210 to 700. So it's an awesome journey. We're looking for 100 that are willing to go to 700 to raise humanity's consciousness. So I welcome you, and I'll see you on our journey.
Ball from there. Okay, cool. That guy was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I've never heard those things before that you're saying.
We were just talking, like, you think there would be 400 people with cancer showing up just from one of these stories, you know, it's pretty wild. And last night I came across something I sent to Don, and it was when electricity was invented. When electricity was invented, for the first decade,
10 years,
the general population was so against it that they literally thought that you were bringing a demon spirit, some voodoo magic in your home by accepting the electricity.
Energy. Demonic energy.
Yeah, it sounds familiar. Yeah,
terrified of the unknown.
Yes. So exciting times because we're
we are the new electricity.
We are the new electricity. And I trust that our decade just came to an end. And that we're ready for it.
Yeah, right.
And many of you are the reason for that. You know, it only takes one at 700 on the consciousness scale, Hawkins says, to counteract 70 million. So every single one of you on this call, like Gilbert, I see you, that are holding that, making a massive impact. And we're getting ready to launch our system here, only a couple months behind schedule. It's been 2 weeks for 2 months, as it goes. But hey, they say it takes 6 months to build one Rolls Royce compared to 13 hours for a Toyota. So
That's a great one, Jamie.
isn't that good?
Yeah, I like that.
I read it on a postcard somewhere.
I don't care where you
was a
got
bumper
it.
sticker.
That is what the, yeah.
Joanne says I own a Toyota. Nothing against Toyotas, Joanne, just a comparison.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So, yeah, pretty exciting.
Yes, it is. Yeah. What's crazy about it is I used to have a sports car, and it was I had it going 300 kilometers an hour with my son in it, and everybody wanted to see that car. Like I'd stop on the on Robson Street in Vancouver, and there'd be 20 people lined up to see it. Well, we have something like that's so much bigger and better, in comparison. This from the SLR McLaren Roadster to something that has that much power, or way much more power. Like the kind of results that you guys have been talking about having, like the one that stands out the most for me are Gilbert and Janet. And,
he's got your car on there.
oh,
Way to go, bud.
yeah. So yeah, anytime I stopped or whatever, the police stopped me. I have stopped by the police 25 times for speeding.
Don't try this at home, kids.
And I got one ticket.
Well, why did you go speeding? Obviously, it was speeding. I don't think they were making it up, as you just told us you were going 300 on the highway.
And like I had one where the cop was coming back with a ticket in his hand to give to me, and he had asked me how fast I was going, and I said 140, and it was a 90, and I was going 240, and and he'd come back, and he had the ticket in his hand, and he said, "You don't have a front license plate on this thing." I said, "Yeah, no, it's too big and gaudy and shuts off the airflow. I'm trying to find one now to make." And he said, "Okay, have a nice day." And another one stopped me with a helicopter. Like they found, it was a helicopter that they got me on coming from Whistler. And so the cop in the car stopped me and asked me to get out, and I got out. And he starts, "Okay, who are you?" "What do you mean?" "No, who are you?" I said, "Don Smith." "No, who are you?" And he went on for about 20 minutes because he could see my light. He could see my light and was asking these questions, and he just walked away. But a crazy one, last night, I was just sitting there with Jamie, and there's this cat. This cat, it gets up. Now, I'm saying this for you to know that being in the light is like, and you have been experiencing that. So here's this cat, It comes up, sits on my lap, and then after a little while, it gets down and goes and comes back up onto my lap with a little white kitten about this long and put it on my lap. It's kitten.
Yeah, she had babies last week, but she went to the other room and grabbed her kitten and came back and sat on Don's lap.
Yeah, so like, that's what you are meant to be in for others to see. Now, whether the hell they know what it is or not, like I think I mentioned it in the other call, where there was a dance, a function, 3 or 4 nights ago, where my wife lives, and I was just sitting there. They had a live band, listened to it and everything, and there was 20 plus kids. I'd say closer to 25, but I'll just lower it to 20. And they're all just sitting around, staring, smiling. What is that? That's us, raising people's consciousness. That's what you're doing, whether you can see it or not, whether you're aware of it or not. You know, and it's like, whether it's the, you know, all these different, like I said, like the police or whatever, they follow me, whoever's. And I used to go when Jamie and I were in Dubai. And the Dubai Mall is the largest mall in the world. And I would go, get dressed up, I'd go to the mall. I'd walk from one end to the other and this way and back, and I would probably interact with about 500 a day. And that's that light, our light. And people go, who are you? Like what is it? There's something, I don't know what it is. Like, and that's us in our light. So you remember that when you're walking around. And once again, you don't have to say anything. Don't have to say anything. And but I do. Like I'll just go up to somebody in a wheelchair. I say, "What in the hell are you doing in a wheelchair?" You know, it's a lady probably about 32, 35. What are you doing in that wheelchair? Complete stranger. Oh, I have MS. Oh, man, MS.
Don't listen to that bullshit. Can I ask you a couple questions?
Yeah. Did you know that you have total control over getting rid of a disease that you created?
Did you know physical symptoms tend to have an emotional cause? Well, it's quite the filter, being in your light. It's quite the filter, because they either run the fuck away from you.
As fast can be.
Or
they
drawn to you.
Yeah, they are drawn, yeah. And I got pictures of like 10 people in the mall, like, you know, wanting their picture. Well, that's everywhere, wanting their picture taken. And they probably think it's the clothes or whatever, but what it is they're not aware that it's the light. It's the light in us. So you remember that when you're walking around anywhere. That's that raising humanity's consciousness. That's what we're here to do. That's what we're here about. And to raise it as high as we can. And Jamie and I got a new mark, but we're asking you to be at 700, to get to that 700. And we need 114 at that level. You know, and it's easy to say no. And unfortunately for me, my Filipino wife has, you know, she has said no to this. And it is excruciatingly painful dealing with that. And unfortunately, we won't be able to stay together because it's just too like, you can't have somebody at 150 and you're at 700 or 1,000 or whatever. It's just too big of a stretch. And so
Joanne says, I'll marry you, Don. That's awesome.
Oh, you want to marry me too, Gilbert?
Yeah.
Whoa,
That wasn't an invitation, Gilbert.
Whoa.
Just joking, bud. Just joking.
Well, I could not imagine the new me being in a relationship with old me. I mean, that would just be like...
Well, all you have to do is ask me, because I was in a relationship with both of them.
Exactly.
The both versions of Jamie, from the lowest to the highest.
Yes, definitely night and day.
And there wasn't too many around him at the highest. There was tons around him at the lowest.
Yeah, there's lots that wanted to be my friend at the lowest ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Because we were only able to in below, not the higher.
What'd you say, Gilbert? I can't really hear him.
You both
They were
must be
only able
fresh.
to handle in the low, not the high.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No problem. And there's no judgment other than, hey, we don't fit. You know?
Put the TV remote. I think you need to turn the TV down and the speaker up. So, well, for the new people on the call, probably wondering what the heck we're talking about. And this whole instant and permanent thing. I remember after 16 years of personal development, I thought the instant and permanent was a bunch of bullshit. Thank you, Janet. Am I back? Okay, perfect. So yeah, I recall doing 16 or so years of personal development before I met Don, and still had all my shit. You know, like I'd get the seminar high for a couple days if I was lucky, and then be back, you know, an alcoholic by the weekend. And, so I had a hard time believing that it's a permanent thing off the bat, not gonna lie, that's for damn sure. But it did happen in an instant.
Yeah.
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 If I wasn't so stubborn, it would have been immediately permanent. But I had to take a couple swings back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to say, it was amazing how, and somebody may have heard this story, but Jamie flew in from Cabo, was it? I think, yeah.
Yeah.
And we went under this big, massive tree out in West Van on the ocean. And I had a camera guy there videoing the whole thing. And I have pictures on my phone, like the light, the brightness, the shiningness of Jamie when we were finished. We were standing under that tree, and the camera guy took a picture of what he looked like. It was staggeringly different, like staggeringly different. And so it's great. Remember when?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, definitely night and day.
yeah, definitely night and day. And then he went into his narcissism. Was it 3 times or 2 times? I can't remember, but
3.
And part of that was me still figuring out how to deal with narcissism, because it's a pretty tricky thing. But at the same time, you know, when you think about what can be done, I had a multi-billionaire. No, sorry, he was just a billionaire. And he had 5 addictions: alcohol, drugs, food, gambling, and sex. Those were his 5 addictions.
I had a few more than that.
And he hadn't flown his jet, his private jet, in 6 months. And he had a bunch of physical symptoms besides those emotional ones. And he showed up and flew out to Vancouver not in a private jet. And he was in the middle of a messy divorce. His wife came with him, and from Toronto. And I took him through the process on Thursday. On Friday morning, his addictions were gone. He could feel all his addictions gone on Friday morning. And each time I went into Toronto, I would meet him once a month. He was on the on-demand. And 15 months later was the last time I played golf with him, and he still had no trace of any one of those 5 addictions. Now you go to a treatment center and say, this is what happened. I worked in a treatment center for 7 years. So like, how different is that? How different is that? 5 addictions gone in 3 hours. So I had him and his wife at the same time doing it. So it took me a little longer getting those kind of pieces together for them to do it. And I didn't have the as sharp a skill that I have now. That was 10 years ago. And yeah, but they were all gone. Imagine going on Larry King saying, yeah, yeah, 5 addictions gone in 3 hours.
Might be some rehab centers upset with that one.
Yeah, or like in the video that I did of Al Valjanik, 16 months of prostate cancer and gone in 15 minutes. Like 15 minutes. And he had the x-rays 3 weeks later to prove it.
Joanne asks, can you help a young addict that doesn't want to quit?
I don't do that. Because all it is a push and a shove and I need some, yeah.
Well, that's what was going on with me.
Yeah.
When I went to Don, I did not consider myself an alcoholic or an addict, and I was not looking for a solution to give up any of those things, okay?
Nor did he even know how to spell narcissism, I don't think.
Definitely
That's how
not.
far away he was from narcissism.
Yeah, knowing that I had it, yeah. Yeah, I wasn't looking for Don for some narcissist recovery program or how to quit having fun and partying and traveling and drinking. And I wasn't looking for that. To me, I was like, I just want to get better, because I had the not good enough program. No matter how much I did, it was like I wasn't enough. So I was like, I just wanted that next level, become the best version of myself, all the personal development stuff. And I show up to Don and he freaking shows me my light. And I'm like, what the hell? What happened here? I didn't sign up for this. So it held for a few weeks, and then I was like, fuck this, man. I'm smoking weed. I don't care what Don says. Which he never told me, not to do anything or anything like that. But
No.
the point is that I wasn't ready to surrender any of that because I wasn't in pain with it. To me, I was just having fun, I was like, I didn't see any of it as a problem. But then when the connection was made of valuing my light over everything, that's when I realized all those things wouldn't fit, and I couldn't have both systems. And I realized how much pain I was really in when I uncovered it all. But it took a little bit.
Well,
to unpack.
what Jamie's just said is so important, and it's that there can't be anything more important than being in your light. Because the light comes first. And when you're in your light, everything else falls into place. But I'll tell you, from experience, that if I have anything ahead of me, relationship, finance, career, anything ahead of my light, I will crash. The universe will find a way to just nail me with something. Nail me with something to show me that I'm still got something in between me and my light. So the light has to be first. Done. Okay? Like it or not, that's the way it is. But I'm telling you this. When we put our light first and everything else second, everything falls into place like a dominoes, lining up. Would you agree?
I agree. Yeah, all the symptoms to go away.
Yeah, instantly. Like instantly.
Joanne says, I am quitting my addiction to narcissists. Fun for a month.
Good for you, Joanne.
Sounds like you and my mom would get along, Joanne.
Yeah, and that's what it is like when people relapse, there's something more important.
Yeah.
And whatever that important is, will come to the surface and it will be exposed and you get to decide. And you will have to either make the decision to go back to the old route or to be in your light. Yeah.
Yeah, for me it was like I became fully aware of all the shit that I was doing and saw how destructive it was. Whereas before it was just, I mean, it's normal. You go out there in the world and 125 full of addictions is normal. Yeah. You know, like you're not fun or cool if you're not going to the bar all the time with them and doing that stuff. So anyway.
Well, just on that, just think there's 200 12-step programs. That's how many different ways to,
and 85% of the planet is under the conscious level of 200. So you're going to be pretty popular down there. I know I was.
Yeah.
But once it was shown to me, it was all in my face. Now it was like I was consciously I could see I was just totally destroying me, everything around me. Like that I was literally committing suicide indirectly with all of that shit going on. Mm-hmm. And then that's when the decision was clear. It's like, holy fuck, man, like I'm killing myself constantly here if I don't choose my light. Yeah. But I definitely didn't sign up for the Where's My Light program. No. Hey Don, you got my light? I heard you got my light. I didn't even know what the fuck that was back then. Was that like light beer? Like, like Coors Light? What are you talking about? Bud Light? Yeah. Shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we would not accept those sponsors.
No. Just kidding. Someone's gonna clip that and.
Yeah, there. Yeah. So and it's like if you put it in the category of a baby learning to walk, and some let go of so much and they're like leaping instantly, and others that keep falling and getting back up, falling and getting back up, falling and getting back up, that kind of thing. And so it's like that fully embracing and it being the most important thing in my life, because if I have it, boom, everything starts lining. And I am saying to you, from experience, that every stumble I took was because I had something in front of my divinity. It's that simple. So everything that wasn't working and whatever, and I either have
Gilbert said, Jamie, are you on a booster seat? You look like you're 10 feet taller than Don. No, that's real life. Oh, there you go.
How's that, Gilbert?
Now Don's on the booster. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what it was for me. As soon as I was overwhelmed by that feeling of that ineffable state of being, like there wasn't any going back for me.
Right.
Because then I just realized I was chasing that feeling that was so watered down in all of the addictions.
Yeah.
So that's what kept bringing me back. I was now addicted to the new ineffable feeling.
Well, I'll tell you what kept me coming back to this. Because remember, there was no one around me for coaching or leading or any of that. It was like, no, I'm on my own here. And I didn't even know where I was going. Like, I didn't know I was creating this. That wasn't it, because I went through the traditional programs like the AA, and I went to reality therapy, choice theory, and brain-based learning, and neuro-linguistic programming, and on and on and on, and couple therapy, and took all those kind of things that Jamie's talking about. And they were just pieces along the way. And but what had happened was, when I got sober, I don't know if I shared this or not. When I got sober, I was I think 2 or 3 months in. And one of the things they do in 12-step is a fearless moral inventory. And so I did this. And it was 28 pages of this, this beating the piss out of myself.
That was the original questionnaire?
Yeah, that was the original questionnaire. Yeah, and exactly. And it was like I had 28 pages, and I was in Calgary, and I had an appointment to see this Father Paul. It was a Franciscan priest in a Franciscan retreat house out in Cochrane. And I tried to get out of it. I'd written it all, and my sponsor, he pretty near had to drive me out. But finally, I did do it, and I went out. And to give you an idea, like here's this Franciscan priest. Now, I was brought up Irish Catholic. And all of the going to Mass at one time I went to Mass every day for a year, went to communion every day for a year, went to confession every week for a year. And that's when I found out, okay, that's not the route. There's nothing different. But coming back to this Father Paul thing, what had happened was that when I went out and I did this 28 pages, and I was like this, and then I just started raising my head. And what that was this shame. All this shame of everything I ever did wrong. And near the end, Father Paul stood up, come over, stood me up, gave me a hug, and he said, I've never heard such, I've never heard such filth in my life. That's what I was expecting. And he said, I've never heard such beautiful cleansing in all of my history as a priest. That lasted for 3 months, this light that we're talking about. So I kept after that.
So you got it by accident too?
Yes. Yes, I did. Got it by accident. And then I just kept going back to that. Kept going back to that all the time. Like, why is this not holding? Why is that okay? And so that was what led me and what kept me. That's the compass right there.
So Craig's got a good question. He says, how do you keep the light in the front seat and catch it when it slips out?
Well, sit on it. Actually, that's a great question. the way to do it is to recall your transformation. That highest state that you were in. That's it. You go back to that. You recall it, and you anchor it. Okay? That's it. There's nothing, it's that simple. And,
Craig might be new.
Oh, okay.
Craig, have you gone through Don's process yet?
No, I haven't. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. So
You go ahead.
But I've had a few transformations
You've had a few transformations?
throughout life, including addiction.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yes. Well, what I do is when I'm working with someone, I ask them a question of, what's the most powerful moment you ever had in your life? And for example, and it can be men, but many times it's women, is when they have their first child, or or whatever, or the husband and he's in the delivery room with her, and holding that beautiful divine being. That's the one that's the most accessed by the most in this. And so what it is finding that moment. Because here's what I don't have any tangible proof on this, but that's the one that is the most, the brightest light, the most highest energy. And that's who we are. That's us in our divinity. Now, whether that's for 38 seconds, 3 hours, 3 weeks, or whatever, that's what that is, and that's what we are recreating or accessing, so that we know what our light is. This is our light. This is us in our divinity, holding that beautiful little being. Okay? And whatever that is, that's it. And so that's the one where you go to your worst state, and that's where you have your toxic programs. And there's an anchoring process, and it's like tracing it all the way back to its origin, and then collapsing that emotional boil. And that's what it is. It's an emotional boil. And it's where all of the belief systems, both negative and positive, are. And our beliefs about us, that we're not good enough, we don't deserve good things, I'm not loved, I'm terrified, I'm going to die. And you got your 48 phobias, or like, what was that lady's name with the 100 phobias? From New York? Paige?
Yeah.
So Paige.
Hundreds.
Yeah, yeah.
So, probably
Yeah.
hundreds.
Hundreds. That's how many phobias she had. Now imagine going to a therapist with 100 phobias. Well, her and her husband took the process, and it was 2 hours and 20 minutes, and they were all gone. So tell that to a therapist. Or tell about Tim with his 5 addictions gone in 3 hours, 2.5. Okay? Like who's going to believe that? So
Only the ones that went through the process.
yeah, yeah. Or that person met someone or knew someone that took the process, then that bridges that gap, big time. That bridges that gap. And so
for Craig there, whoever invited you, Craig, they'll have a link to our portal, and it has Don's process inside the portal. So they can help you out there. We also do an onboarding call too if you need any help with that right after this call. What time is it out there now? No, I mean like the onboarding call, because we switched. 11 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, so that's 8 p.m. Pacific. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, for those of you that have taken the process, there's a few of you I see on the call. I'd love to hear a testimony from you to help out the new people. So go ahead and raise your hand when you're ready, and you can share your experience. But yeah, I know for me, I mean, I tried everything. That's one thing, is that I was searching nonstop through all the different personal developments, multiple religions, all the spiritual journeys, plant drugs with shamans. I mean, I tried a lot. And really nothing got to the core cause of all my shit until Don's program. That's why 4 years later, I've never done anything for 4 years. I've never even had the same name for 4 years. but I've been sitting next to this guy for 4 years because I'm like, damn it, this is the only thing that works, man. Like, so that's why I'm still here. Gilbert's got something to share. Go ahead, Gilbert.
Let me see, because that last echo. Yeah, it's a huge echo, bro.
Huge echo still?
All right.
Hold on one sec. We'll try to adjust it. Maybe just try to turn it down for or
Me. Yeah, I could still.
Oh, there you go. Select the speaker. Yeah.
Okay. Let me see.
Now try.
I can still hear myself. Like loud on your side. But okay. So for me, for the longest time before I went through the process, I kind of skipped through some of it. I didn't know what the video was that they were talking about, so I just did the 15-day one, and then the nights I didn't share this part, but I was actually checking out Don's meditation video. Like, I kid you not, I was doing it like 2-3 times every night because I didn't know which video they were talking about till like, I think, I don't know, day 14 or something. It was working, okay? It worked really well for me. But during that time frame while I was doing my divine focus, I was always thinking of like memories when I was younger, when I was full of exuberance, joy. And then like one of them, just giving you examples, when I was, I think in middle school, when it was 3:25 p.m., 5 minutes from the bell, that feeling of on a Friday, not knowing what's going to happen on Saturday and Sunday because you just bastard, just blasted with a bunch of garbage throughout the whole week. So the weekend, which I didn't know was going to happen, the unknown, it was just so exciting for me that I wasn't programmed, and I was just like excited. That feeling for me for the longest time was like what was keeping me afloat. And I had a lot of astral dreams too, where I had light bodies. But when I did the process with Don, it changed it up, because after that one, I started seeing myself as another light body, but going down to all of the memories, just like the process shows. And now with the whole wand and flicking dust everywhere, and I'll just like flick the crap out of everywhere. But that one, and then after I'm done going back in the past and going to the future, the light body comes into me, like it dives into me, and then I just feel it. And then when I first started off, I was barely getting like little bursts. It was like little tiny bursts. I'm just like, oh, that's cute. Like, what's that? Like, what's that feeling? It's emanating out of the body. But now that I'm on day 32, I kid you not, it's just like, it's so much easier now. just stay consistent and persistent with it. I'm telling you, because now I feel like a super saiyan. I feel like I feel like flames coming out of my body, like maybe good like 3-4 inches off of my body now. So it's like I said again, it takes some time, but it works, and you just have to keep focusing. When you when you get off of it, you just lock it again and say I am. And I've been adding, like I've been doing everything Don was saying, and I've added my own little things too. I am times 10. I'm just tinker. I've always been a tinkerer, and I've noticed that certain words really do amplify it even more. So I'm just like, where can this take me? And then so I'm just, playing around with it, enjoying the process of it. But I'm structured with his process and the way he structured it, because it's perfect. And the three a day. Before I only did 2 a day for 2 hours and 2 hours. And it would have taken me a really long time to figure out the midday one and then the ammunition for the ego. That would have taken me, God knows how long that would have taken. But I feel like I was on track to figuring this out too, because I've had multiple times when I would be doing Reiki sessions with people, and they'd pick me up, take me to the park, and there's this one girl I remember specifically. She had the AC on, and then I guess my energy was just activating like crazy. She goes, "Hey, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want you to think that was crazy, but I just feel this hot air hitting me in the face as she's trying to drive." It was just our energy just flowing like I didn't know it was possible. So those little memories that I have from all those little times when I took ayahuasca, and I didn't even share that one, but my friend told me, he said he was seeing me when I was doing my dancing. He said he was seeing lightning bolts come down from the sky and then like zap into me. And then when I was doing this, it was like flowing out everywhere. Like I was sending energy to everybody and healing energy to everybody all around me. But those are the kind of like memories. And unfortunately, all that was temporary though. Unfortunately, it was 30 days and then I crashed. But I'm 32 in, and it's just getting stronger. And then I just feel like so high all the time on life. I don't know what else to say, but yeah, if this is what you've been looking for, yeah, this is what I've been seeking for 9+ years. So hopefully you give yourself an opportunity to heal, brother, and give it a shot whenever you get a chance, and feel free like a bird, flightless and ineffable. So I just wanted to share that. Hopefully that helps out other people try to find little other glimpses of light, and it's not just from one specific scenario. You've been there, you've felt it before. We just got derailed from all the trauma and all kinds of beliefs. It just threw a bunch of mud and caked us. So Don just figured out how to remove all that dirt and mud like a lotus flower from the very bottom, and teaches us how to float to the very top, and so the mud won't ever cover us ever again. And I hope that helps, brother.
Over there. Woo! Way to go, Gilbert. Awesome metaphors, bud. Love it.
Yep.
Anyone else? We got a few more veterans in the house. Anyone else want to throw up their hand and help out the new brothers and sisters? Janet, awesome. It's not 7 a.m. for you anymore, hey? 6 p.m.
No. Hi, everyone.
You might need to mute us.
My name's Janet, and I flew down to, oh, it's still it's echoey. Is it still echoey? Good. So I flew down to see Dawn in December, and I wasn't sure what I was signing up for. All I knew at that moment in time of my life, I was already creating a pretty amazing life for myself, in terms of freedom, in terms of finances, but yet something felt like it was missing. And I didn't realize that I really didn't want to give up my booze, because I love booze. Like I travel the world to eat and have good wine, and And then Don tells me to not drink anymore for 2 weeks just to test it out after the divinity. He's like, just test it out and see how you feel. And now I haven't drank booze since December 17th, which is crazy because that was my identity. And I don't even have any cravings to have it back. And I've never been in a space in my life where I'm actually excited to see, or I'm excited to just discover and to live life in a way where I'm not always buzzed, or I need something to have fun, or I need something to be happy. And he brings you back to a state of nothingness. And I've done a lot of spiritual courses. I have a lot of spiritual mentors myself. I've done so much personal development work, which has brought me to, this far. And yet there was a whole nother realm, which had nothing to do with what I've learned so far. And you get there within an instant. And that's something I'm still processing every day and doing the focus. But I know that this is kind of like a one-stop shop. And the more that I focus on my divine focus, the stronger it's going to get. So thank you, Don. And I'm excited. I'm just
very welcome, Janet. And yes, it does get stronger and stronger. Yeah, so kudos to you. Yeah, it was a wonderful experience for me. I was right by the ocean, and
I'm surprised you told her not to drink anymore.
I don't usually do that. I usually say, if you use any mood-altering chemicals, it will drastically affect your. That's what I usually say. So I don't usually tell people not to. I just say, hey. But anyway.
Suggest.
Yeah, suggestion only.
Yeah.
He likes that one too. Suggestion only. That's when you know you're really you're in for it. He's been watching it for a while if he says that.
Yeah.
I don't usually like to interfere. Suggestion only. Ah, fuck. All right, hit me.
Yeah.
We've been together so long, and there's been a few times where I'm like, Don, man, just tell me directly when you see shit. Okay, I will. Never does. Waits until I put my tail between my toes and my legs and okay, Don, I need some help here, bud. Oh yeah, well, I did notice some things. I wasn't gonna say it, but like, fuck, man, why didn't you say it earlier? Let me go on this little tussle within myself. That's funny. Way to go, Janet.
Yeah, kudos, Janet. Yeah, it's awesome.
Wait, I forgot to add, I actually saw Dawn because I had self-sabotage tendencies, or the old programming as well. So even though I was at my high of my life, I was actually sabotaging myself at that very moment. And that's why I saw Dawn. And so he helped me uncover that. He helped me uncover that moment, which was the crazy part. Was the best moment of my life was my self-sabotaging moment as well. And so learning that the ego comes from the same coin, which is positive and negative. I'm not going to get into the details, but it's just mind blown when you finally realize how you were operating from the good and bad was actually still from the same spot.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Unraveling and understanding for you. Yeah.
So yeah, that alone was worth it to see you.
Yeah. So there's no winning. There's no winning in that system, your light takes your sum, and then the ego jumps in and bang and bang. So anyway, it was awesome for you to unravel that and shift it. Very exciting.
Yeah, I never learned that one in personal development, that your negative and your positive beliefs are toxic.
Yeah.
When you told me that, I was like, what the heck is this guy talking about?
Yeah.
Now I know.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Yeah, that was a biggie. That was a biggie. It's a hard one for, like I said, the personal development or those kind of behavioral programs. And I got pissed off at one there. I was like taking advantage of people. It's like, yeah, this is some people get it in phase 1, and then but you're going to have to take another one if you've got certain programs, and then there's another one after that, and there's another one, and they all cost more and more and more and more, and it's like, yeah, no, that's not it. And
I mean, if you go to the bar, they're not going to want to stop serving you alcohol, you know?
yeah, right. Yeah. So that
Well, the other analogy I loved when you shared is as far as the personal development, is the trying to get a glass of water with the strainer. Like, what? What is he talking about? I remember we were at someone's house, and you're like, yeah, has anyone got a strainer? Like, what? Yeah, okay. Gives Don a strainer. Don goes to the tap. See, this is personal development. Water running through the strainer. He says, and the guys like Jamie were real smart. They go down to Staples and get the fancy duct tape and tape up the strainer. See if it holds. Yeah. Yes, the self-help addiction, Joanne says. That's what it is for sure.
yeah, it really is. Because there is a high to it,
There is.
and that's no different than
Well, as toxic as positive beliefs were, they were a lot better than the negative ones that I grew up in.
yeah, yeah, same here. And so yes, that it's that high from that weekend, of and whatever that is, whatever type of program. And the other side of it too is, at the same time, that's better than not going at all. So kudos to those of you that kept going that route, looking and searching and searching and searching. At least you were searching. There's many that don't search. They're just stay in their pain. So definitely a level above, for sure. But most times, by the time someone finds me, it's like they've already gone through multiple personal developments. And, for example,
You weren't as easy to find.
yeah. I remember, like, I mean, I studied Tony Robbins, that Awaken the Giant Within and things like that. And so those were stepping stones for me to get to where I am today. They were pieces along the way. And so anyway, certainly better than sitting in a bar or, taking drugs to find a way. It's certainly.
What do you got a bunt against bar and drugs, huh?
Yeah. So anyway, the piece about where we're at, we need to know how powerful we are. I'm challenging you. I'm challenging each one of you on this call. Like, your very most powerful moment, your most powerful moment, that you had before you did this, or since you've done this, that powerful moment. And what was that like? And how close are you to being in that? I'm telling you, that's what we're called to. There's not a moment that I am not watching to see how I handle this or handle that situation or whatever. And it's like, no, I am called to be at my highest level of consciousness 24/7. That's what I'm called to. That's it right there. And what I found
is when I got to those high levels, guess what? There's another one I didn't even know existed. And that's exciting. That's exciting.
The chart beyond the chart.
Yeah, the chart beyond the chart. Yeah, yeah. And you know, the one that I find the most difficult is having watched people that I, you know, take the process and have staggeringly amazing results, like staggering, just beyond crazy. And they walk away and give it up. It's like, you know, come on, man.
Just on that, my absolute favorite is my good old buddy there, Joshua Gabby.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the one in the walker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the new one.
Yeah, for the new. It's been a while since we shared that one, and that's my favorite. So just give you a quick background. He got into a car accident, must have been about 6-7 years ago now. Doctors told him he would never walk, and he did his, positive belief stuff, got into a walker, and it was 4 years in the walker. The time that I introduced him to Don. Actually, I introduced him to Don a year before, but it took him a whole year to gain the courage to meet with Don. But finally he did. And this is what happened the next day. You got the other one on the pier. Okay. So that's
Like, how can you deny that? Like,
that's our good buddy Joshua.
Yeah.
And that was 2 years ago. And to this day, I just had a back and forth with him last week, like, because I've been toying with him when he writes his victim story on his Facebook. I send him that clip, like I comment the video on his Facebook post, and he keeps deleting it. So finally, I was like, "Why do you keep deleting your divinity?" And he said, "Oh, people won't understand it, and it pisses me off to see it because I haven't been in it since." I said, "Well, why don't you reconnect with Don so that you're in it 24/7?" Yeah, I'll think about it. And that was at least a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. And I assume he didn't message you.
No.
No. So talk about giving it up.
Yeah.
Giving it up.
And that's the crazy thing. Like, can you imagine that, doing that? Like, how crazy that is. And what's the logic? Because logic and reason doesn't fit here. It doesn't. And that's an example of that. That's an example of it. Like, imagine being in a walker for 5 years, would it be, or 4?
Well, it's 6 now. It was 4 when he met you, yeah.
Yeah, so 4 years.
Carrying that thing.
Carrying his walker.
Yeah. That thing ain't light either. I've carried it. I've had to carry him on my shoulder and it's in the victim thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Like Jamie just said, it's a victim, and they're not prepared to surrender the victim in that particular case. And in most cases, they're not prepared to surrender that false identity and embrace the knowing of who they truly are. Everyone that relapses, that's the core piece. Everyone. Yes, it's got this or that one, or it's got that, or this happened, or whatever. It's relationship, or it's drinking, or it's whatever. Money, or
Sam on the call.
so.
Well, a really common one that I've seen over and over, and I did myself, especially for us recovering smart people. Um, like all the work we did to build up that intellect, and then the results that it brought us, striving for the positive beliefs,
Yeah.
and then coming into this, it's like having to surrender all that, even though, like, it never worked, but it kind of worked in that world, like,
Yeah.
so there's an attachment there. And I was talking to Sam last night. He's not there. Okay. I was gonna bring him on to share what we talked about last night, but I guess he jumped off. But anyway, um, he had a huge breakthrough last night, just because I said, "Listen, man, like, I got to be honest with you. Your commitment's here. You've shown you're committed, but you haven't shown the surrender." And at first, it was like that immediate, "Oh no, I got the surrender," and like the immediate defense mechanism, which the intellect is great at, especially with smart people.
Yeah.
You got all the clever comeback
Yeah, like
immediately.
like this one.
Yeah, I know. I was telling Sam, like, man, listen, like, I know what you're doing. And a few back and forths, and he ended up breaking down, crying, and apologized, and said he needed to talk to you, and reached out to you, but
Right.
and he hadn't done that since he's been here. He's been here
6 weeks.
2 months almost. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So when they
And he's a prime example, like I was, of just so smart that you intellectualized all the language, the exact
words to
process,
say
all
and
the words,
yeah.
but he never surrendered. And the moment he finally saw it, he's like, wow, wow, I can see how I haven't surrendered, and I don't know how, and I'm scared.
Right.
So that's it, bud. You're getting somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is there is no half measures. I'm either all in or I'm not. And that's why I used to spend a lot of time with people and to get them ready, to convince them.
Now you just let me do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I told Sam, I'm going on dawn mode from now on. So just so you know, this is the absolute last time I'm gonna call you out and put it in your face. This is my last direct approach. I'm going dawn mode. So the next time, if there's a next time, the most you're gonna get from me is, that's interesting. That's it. So yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, you want to be in pain? You go do it. Give me a call when you're done. And it won't be free. Yeah. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you what you're doing, and then it's going to cost you to see me. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So anyway,
Where'd Will go? We got one more video to show them, brand new for the partners. For those of you coming. So for those of you that are excited to help us with this vision and build this community out, we made a brand new video for the partner program. So it's going to be going live on the website under Don's intro to the divinity process. So you get to see it here first. Looks familiar.
yeah,
Hi
okay.
there. My name's Jamie Devine. Welcome to
Turn up a bit.
IAMDIVINITY. I'm super excited for you to embark on this journey
Just congratulations for even finding IAMDIVINITY. My journey has been over 16 years of personal development, spiritual programs, multiple religions. I've been an entrepreneur since the age of 13. I never had a regular job. And so going through all of that, showing up to Don Smith 4 years ago to take
They're
his
saying the volume was enough.
permanent transformation, first of all, sounded a little hard to believe because I had done so much work and I still had all my shit.
And they
I'm
can't hear it.
still an alcoholic, a weed addict, a narcissist, my financial... Hi there, my name's Jamie Devine. Welcome to I Am Divinity. I'm super excited for you to embark on this journey. Just congratulations for even finding I Am Divinity. My journey has been over 16 years of personal development, spiritual programs, multiple religions. I've been an entrepreneur since the age of 13. I never had a regular job. And so going through all of that, showing up to Don Smith 4 years ago to take his instant and permanent transformation, first of all, sounded a little hard to believe because I had done so much work and I still had all my shit. I was still an alcoholic, a weed addict, a narcissist. My financial gains in business and investing would shoot up and then cut right down and start over, shoot up, cut right down, and I could never hold my, my success. Going through his program, it was about 2 hours. All of my toxic patterns and programs were completely gone. Literally just gone in a second. And I can't even describe how liberating that moment was for me. But right after that, I told Don, I said, I don't want to do any of the business that I'm currently doing. I woke up to my purpose for coming to the planet. When Don told me his vision of raising humanity's consciousness to the level of 700 on the scale, enlightenment, which was the cause of all causes. The level of consciousness is the cause of all of our individual and collective problems on the planet. And so to finally have that solution, experiencing that solution for myself, I just wanted to tell everyone and anyone that would listen. And of course, with all my entrepreneur background and my skills in marketing, I made an agreement with Don so that I could just, literally my job would be to hold my light and share my light with others and bring them to the process and actually get compensated for it. And so I'm super excited to announce that we've now created this entire system for you too. Now imagine that, being able to go through this instant and permanent transformation for yourself, be liberated of all your toxic patterns and programs, literally within a couple hours. And then on top of that, being able to have all your financial fuel and energy and livelihood come from this divine system. And so there's a few pieces to it. Number one, we have an affiliate partnership program. So you're a partner. Your job is to hold your light, share your light, and anyone that's attracted to it, bring them to the program, and we pay out 30% of all the financial part of the system to you. That's the first part. The second part is my experience in the financial realm took me into Forex and crypto over the last 10 years. And I've been through all the roller coaster rides, all the ups and downs, all the scams and schemes. And we landed on just a couple people that were actually full of integrity, that have actually gone through the divinity process, and that are like nothing else. So our Forex fund is ran by an institutional trader. And if you've ever done anything in the financial realm in Forex, 99% of the retail space, the average everyday person, it's a scam. It's a scheme. You're going to lose your money. Maybe you're one of the few that got in early and took the money from the others, but eventually it collapses. I've seen them come and go over the years. But this institutional trader, he has 7 years of experience, and we have his entire track record of his strategy. He has an algorithm. He spent over $20 million in development up to this point. And so even with all that being said, there's still no guarantees. Of course, when it comes to investing, please only risk what you can afford. But we found something that's more solid than I've ever experienced, and it's where our personal funds are. And so you'll have access to that as well. His team has produced over the last 7 years on average 50 to 60% per year on the funds. And you don't have to do anything. You open up the brokerage account, our team will help you do that, and you park your funds there like you would a bank account, and his algorithm trades on all of the accounts. And so we can expect a 50 to 60% if it's anything like the previous average. But again, all the past performance never guarantees anything in the future. Just please be mindful of that. And then the last piece is our crypto fund. Now the crypto fund is very time sensitive. So a good friend of mine, Josh, who's handling the crypto fund, he's become an expert at this stuff. That's all he does every day. He goes and researches the top legitimate projects in crypto. To give you an example, in 2021, which was the last crypto bull run, Josh on his personal portfolio did over 8,000% that year. 8,600 to be exact. And so this was a kid that was 21 at the time and had his life savings in crypto and became a millionaire over that year of investing. And so just this last year, Josh told me, hey, I'm going to do what I did last bull run, but I'm going to open it to a few friends and family. I said, Josh, no problem. I trust you. I sent him the funds for myself. And then I said, Josh, I want to open this up to our entire community. He said, well, I don't know if legally that's a little tough. I said, don't worry, I'll work on that. And we created Divine Markets, which is a legal entity to be able to facilitate this, both the Forex fund and the crypto fund. And so we overcame that, and Josh is exclusively handling all the crypto for our community. And his target for the next year is 1,000%, about a 10x on the funds. And again, there's absolutely no guarantees. Please only risk what you can afford to risk. And so that's it. That's the overview. It's pretty simple. You got the affiliate partnership program, which again is just going to share the financial part with you so that you can actually create a network and an income for yourself while holding your light and sharing your light. Which, by the way, going through this process, we wouldn't be able to pay you to not tell people about it, because you're just going to be radiating and people are going to be attracted to you. And so we just wanted to create a system where we're all partners in this to reach that goal of 114 superheroes of light that are holding this and shifting humanity's consciousness. And so I welcome you to be a part of that vision and mission and part of our team. And I'm excited for you to go through your process. By the way, all of this financial part is only exclusively available to those of you that have gone through the process and committed to that. So it's not going to be available to anyone else. So what a bonus, what a reward for accessing your light and holding it, that you get access to an institutional trading fund that you wouldn't be able to get access to unless you had $250,000 and you accredited investor and all those things that the institutions look for. So we created a bridge for you on that. And the crypto fund, unless you know someone like Josh, and even if you did, it's not cheap or easy to get involved with those things. But we've made it easy for those of you that go through this process. It's a $500 minimum on the Forex fund, $500 minimum on the crypto fund. So that's it. I'm excited for you, and we'll see you on the other side. Seems
Awesome.
pretty interesting.
Yeah. Who was that guy?
I don't even look familiar. Is this Jack Nicklaus? What? Instead of George Clooney? What is he talking about? Okay. Oh, I missed some comments here. Okay. Oh, Bob Marley movie. Awesome, Tiffany. I saw so much divinity and ego in that movie. Yeah, it's tough not to spot after you're aware of all these things.
Yeah.
Every movie we watch, we're like, oh, here comes the ego crash. Don and I were just watching the Blackberry movie yesterday because Don worked with the CEO there for, was it 7 years?
Yeah, and another 80.
Yeah, 80, yeah, 80, mostly executives.
Yeah, all executives. Oh,
That's a lot of executives.
yeah. But there are different levels.
Yeah, big company though. I mean, they're at what, 7 billion when you showed up?
7, and they when we were finished, it was 6.
Yeah, they had quite the run.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting.
So just on that, as an of a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit. It's Research in Motion. And they, it was decided that day to pay out $1.2 billion to get out of this lawsuit. They were about to sign it, and Jim Balsley, the co-CEO, said, I gotta go. I'll be right back. And the reason I know this is because Don Morrison was the COO, and he told me word for word what happened inside that room that day. So there was 40 people on both sides, lawyers on both sides, all of everybody. And they were about to sign, and Jim just stood up and said, I gotta go, I'll be right back. Where are you going? Gotta go, right back. And he comes out and he calls me. And I'm on third tee box in Furry Creek with my son for golf. And I get this call, it was Jim. Yeah, told me what was going on. I said, okay, Jim, how much time do we have to change this? Said, I got to be back in the meeting in 8 minutes. I said, okay, you ready? Boom. 6 minutes later, we were finished. Hung up the phone, back in, said, we're not doing it that way. We're doing it this way. That 6-minute phone call saved RIM $615 million. How's that? Imagine saying, yeah, let's talk about this, Jim. Could you explain some of this? No. Give me the pieces. Boom. Are you ready? Yeah. Oh. That was it. It's done.
Well, no wonder he kept you around for 7 years.
Yeah. That's just it. Yeah. So I encourage you to stay in, for those of you that have taken the process, to stay in your light. And I also encourage you to, if you see someone if they ask you a question, it's like, there's something different about you. They're getting ready. They're ready. That's what that is. You seem different than me. What's going on with you? Like your voice is different, or you don't go to those movies anymore, or like what's wrong with you? That's what that is. They're seeing your light. Now they're not going to be able to articulate it in a way that's understandable, but that's the one that you ask a question or you tell them some information, because they're the ones that are awakening to the light. That's what it is. Yeah. So anyway,
There you have it.
yeah. So kudos.
How are we at onboarding? Okay, well,
Did it?
good for today.
Yeah.
We did it, yeah.
Super congrats, everyone. I'm glad you showed up. And
Joanne's picking on you.
oh, is she? What's she
Yeah.
saying?
She said you need to change your jacket before I marry you. She prefers the hoodie.
I do have 2 hoodies. Yeah. What color would you like? And by the way, what's wrong with this jacket? So,
Well, thanks for showing up to our new time.
Yes.
I love that I can see the daylight. I love how we can get some sunshine after this.
yeah.
We get to go to the coconut stand.
Yeah.
It was a little tough living in the wee hours of the night.
Yeah. I'm a zombie after 9 at night.
Yeah.
So anyway,
So thank you for making the shift with us. Thanks
Yeah.
for being here. We'll be here tomorrow, same time. What time is it again? It's 10 a.m. for us, so that's 9 p.m. Eastern for you guys. And then 11 p.m. Eastern, so in 20 minutes, we do the onboarding call. So that's Will and the guys to support you getting into the system if you need help there. But yeah, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of new people today. Yeah,
That's good.
Great to see all the new
Yeah,
ones.
keep bringing them. Keep
Yeah.
bringing them. That's your new role.
It's your new role.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, totally. Okay.
Oh yes, the onboarding call. There's a link. Thanks for that, Craig. Will put the link in the chat here. We should share that on the platforms too, hey? Onboarding call. But anyway, just for now, put it in there. Yes. Sleep well, everyone. Make sure you do your divine focus before you pass out. And we got a whole day ahead of ourselves now.
Yes, we do.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like a whole new world.
Yeah.
Oh, Gilbert says like and subscribe.
Very good, you guys. Yeah. Take
Take
care. Bring 5 friends with you next time.
Yes, let's keep this growing.
Yeah.
What an honor to have you as one of the first 114, because it's going to be an absolute explosion snowball from there.
Yeah.
But how cool to say that you're one of the first.
One of the original 114 that shifted humanity's consciousness from its existing 210 to 700.
That's it.
That's it right there. Okay.